Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you in the first session of this international conference on cyber law, cybercrime, and cybersecurity. The conference starts on cyber law. So let's have the first session on cyber law. I want to just share with you what I see on the horizon globally, and then try to decipher some meaning that's coming out of these random developments globally. We have a presentation. Can we start the presentation, please? So, when I talk about cyber law in 2024, I'm actually looking at a different issue altogether. So cyber law in 2024 represents a distinctive evolution of thought processes, of approaches as you go forward. I am always confident that technology always fails you at the time you want to rely upon it. So let's look at it. How does this help us? Well, if it doesn't work, I will just say next slide. That could be sufficient. It doesn't work for authority people like us. It always fails us at the time when we are thinking that, okay, no problem, if that be the case, then no, they're not connected with have this connection there. Hi, are you guys ready? Well, this is after so much of rehearsals, after ensuring that the technology works, it still doesn't work. But then that's the beauty of internet, right? You can never take internet for granted. If you take internet for granted, you're gone. I mean, internet is like a ruthless running tiger. It's not giving you the time, the breath to take pause, to balance, to calibrate. Why? Because you think you're in control. You're not in control. You think things are working fine, they're not. You think technology is at the same level? Sorry, it's not. Because it continues to keep on working, so does cyber law as a paradigm. We are also joined by Mr. Rakesh Maheshwari. He's the former group coordinator, cyber law, the man who is responsible for authoring a number of cyber legal notifications in the government of India. So, sir, thank you for joining us. Okay, so let me see, what do I begin first? Let me begin with the digital arrest. You must have heard this now. This is the new paradigm where you get a phone call on your phone from an unknown number. The number wants you to switch on the video call. You switch on the video call and you actually see a police officer's uniformed man. And he says, hey guys, you sent a parcel. We found out your parcel has drugs. We are going to prosecute you. Okay? If you don't want prosecution, you can pay us some comfort money. And of course, we are law-abiding citizens, so we don't take comfort money in our accounts. Put the comfort money in the account of the Reserve Bank of India, and they give you a couple of accounts. Now, they are working with you all the time. They are focusing on your mindset, and lo and behold, once you are terrorized, once you are panicked, that's the end of the matter. You land up giving everything that you have. One of my clients lost 6.3 crore rupees. Well, that's about 63 million Indian rupees, just to give you an idea, in 3 days. Because they put you under such massive fear. So digital arrest has become the #1 headache for India today. And I think India is leading by example. Why? Because India is like the working laboratory on cybercrime in the world. What gets innovated here gets replicated elsewhere. And cybercriminals are miles ahead in terms of their thought processes on law enforcement agencies as we go forward. That's the reason even the Prime Minister has actually now highlighted that, look, hey guys, in India, please Indians, beware of digital arrest. Why? Because this is a new kind of a cyber AI crime that's come up. Deepfakes are coming left, right, and center. One of our clients, a senior vice president in a company, leaves his daughter from his door to go to school in a school taxi. And half an hour later, he gets a call on his phone saying his daughter has been kidnapped and they require 15 lakh rupees in 15 minutes. You don't pay 15 minutes, in 15 minutes, 15 lakhs, we will execute your daughter. He keeps talking, he wants to talk to the daughter, he's talking to the daughter is crying, hoarse, asking the daddy to please come and fetch her. He tries to negotiate, he fails in negotiation. At the 14th minute, when he sees his less than 1 minute window for saving his daughter, he pays 15 lakh rupees. Talks to daughter again, satisfied, daughter's safe, location is fixed up, they jump into the car and go on to the location. And lo and behold, on the way he decides to call up the school principal to say, this has happened to me, it can happen to anyone else. School principal says, sir, what are you talking? Your daughter has been with us since morning. A classical case of a deepfake fraud where they were able to use the voice sample of this girl to create these deepfakes. So, cyber frauds are endless and new innovative approaches are coming up. By the way, how many of you in this room do not use ChatGPT? Please raise your hands. Cybersecurity. If the risk is when I'm actually generating these software, these texts on these AI platforms, I'm actually leaving behind footprints. These footprints will be used against me. Already there's a new survey which tells us that generative AI exposes users to new security risks. Again, why do we think that this AI is my life friend? Why do I think that I need to rely upon this algorithm which I've never seen, which is never transparent? Ask OpenAI how much kind of parameters go into making the decision. And they said, we are not going to tell you. That's our trade secret. So you don't exactly know in which particular manner your particular stuff is going to take place. So I think we have to now realize that there's an intrinsic connection between cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. And this will be a big thrust area as far as AI is going to be concerned. Why? Because as far as cyber law, you will have to look at these legal nuances on the intersection of AI and cybersecurity. Well, the fact is, everybody wants that if you are using AI, you must be secure. 4 weeks back, some people came for a consultation on a matter. I did the consultation and then we began talking. And they incidentally revealed, sir, we are into cybercrime. I said, okay, you must be in the cybercrime prevention area. No, sir, we are in the actual field of cybercrime. We use AI for committing cybercrime. And they are able to generate humongous volumes of money on a single day. As per their estimate, they were logging in about 32 to 35 crore rupees per day, per month for just their cybercrime activities using AI. So I think very quickly, cyber law will have to deal with these ramifications as we go forward, because these automated systems are having loopholes. Hackers, state actors, non-state actors will go ahead and breach this very parameters for the purposes of coming inside your system as we go forward. Hello, my friends. Are we on technology? Yes? Or are we on Ruben? Can we have some? Okay. So, yesterday, one of my 200th book got released, and that was on AI agents. We have begun to start relying upon AI agents without thinking they are reliable or they are not reliable. And the chances are that a number of AI agents are going to be rogue. They will come in the disguise of a saint, but they will ultimately go and target you for a variety of purposes. And therefore now comes the bigger issue. How do I deal with this entire issue of this intersection of AI and crime? Because cyber criminals are laughing all the way to the bank. They are using AI for committing cybercrime. So it's wonderful. Why? Right now they commit crime with their own hands, the police can catch hold of them. But, lo and behold, if they get AI to commit the crime, there's nobody to catch up to. You can't send AI to jail. You cannot send even the coder to jail. How do you connect the coder to the AI? That itself becomes a big challenge as we go forward. Well, team, can I have... okay, sure. The problem is that you will be leaving behind footprints. And if your profile gets hacked by criminals, then they have everything. They have everything available to target you, put you on the map once and for all for a lifetime. And it will be your digital identity that's mostly at risk, that we haven't even begun to think of. And I think this is a big problem. And that's why when I'm looking at cyber laws, I'm finding that most of the time, the cyber laws have not yet started waking up in the direction of regulating cybercrime and AI. Look at the European Union law. It's broadly looking at trying to minimize the risk to the public at large. You look at China's law. On generative AI, which they came up on 15th of August 2023, and it doesn't talk much about these criminal aspects. New York has not even thought in that direction. They are more concerned about trying to get audits and trying to get less bias and discrimination as we actually go forward. Well, if that's the case, quickly, the legal aspects on the intersection of AI and cybersecurity will have to be addressed by cyber law as a topmost priority. A number of countries already have in place national cybersecurity laws. But mind you, these laws are still silent on the intersection of cybersecurity and AI. They are still worded keeping in mind a physical world, a PC world, a mobile world. They have never been drafted keeping artificial intelligence in their own thought process as we go forward. So I think as we go forward, very quickly, cyber law as a discipline will start taking appropriate steps on the intersection of AI and cybersecurity, specifically generated AI. Because what happens if you generate something from AI, and that something has got a malicious code, you voluntarily, on a bona fide basis, share it. Something happens on a target system. Data gets destroyed. They work it up back to you. Who goes to jail? You go to jail. Who faces the legal consequences? You face the legal consequences. So very quickly you have to start realizing that AI, I'm actually dealing with a volcano of fire as we go forward. Another bigger issue that I think cyber law will have to deal with, will have to deal with the ethical ramifications. Professor Christoph Stackelberger, one of the foremost thought leaders globally on ethics, is here. And he'll agree with me. And when we worked on this book on AI ethics and governance, we find that the world has not even begun, shall I say, thinking in the direction of coming up with mandatory legal parameters to mandate coders to have these ethical principles as an integral part of the building process. Right now, I'm at the mercy of the coder. The coder decides to be malicious, but comes up in the guise of a say, I believe him to be a say. And I start using that particular algorithm. And lo and behold, I get faced a huge number of legal problems. So how do we ensure that the AI algorithms are fair, are not discriminating, are working in an ethical manner? But hold on. How do I instill ethical principles in an algorithm? Only a coder will be able to do so. But then how do I force him to ensure that these elements be a part of this algorithm? That can happen through law, not through persuasion, not through request, but through penalty. Once the coder realizes, I don't do this and I go to jail, he starts getting his act together. But you go with folded hands, please use the ethical way. He's not bothered because he's seeing you as a data entity. Why? You all become data entities. We have become data entities. Every day, we are a part of this new revolution, the great vomiting revolution. We are vomiting data, personal, professional data, online, without even thinking, hey guys, it's going online. It's going to a paradigm where everybody is able to see this. And cyber criminals are using this for targeting me. So I think the ethical ramifications of AI will have to be done. We'll have to specifically at cyber law focus on minimizing bias. Because look at all of these new algorithms and they don't have India specific data. They're still relying on Western data. So ask them Indian questions and you realize that there are lots of words, or they'll say let me come back or let me think up. So bias will have to be reduced against legal frameworks, not otherwise. What about our countries doing something? Well, the countries are saying, let me be in a wait and watch approach. So you have countries, and this is the list of countries, who've said, look, hey guys, I want AI to be totally prevalent. I don't want to come in. So I will only come up with my national AI policies, my vision as to how AI will be growing in my country in the next 5-10 years. Wonderful. But most of these countries have chosen not to go in the direction of regulation per se. It's the European Union which has now led the world by the world's first comprehensive legislation on artificial intelligence. Look at that. And they've gone in greater detail. But there's a problem. They said, look, some portions have come into effect, others will come into effect in 2025. But is AI waiting? Sorry, AI is not waiting for your law to come in place. So clearly there will be a constant struggle of how to get the legal frameworks up to speed with the AI developments as we go forward. But clearly, I feel that the European law is a great step forward. New York, much more focused, smaller vision. I'm only focused on employment. That's all. These are when you're using AI for employment, make sure there's no bias. Get audits done. That's all. They don't even prescribe the criminal penalty if you don't really comply with these parameters. But I think it's China that needs to be complimented. 3 legislations on artificial intelligence in 3 years speaks volumes of a vision of a country who has realized the power of AI and wants to regulate it. And the latest one, the measures on generative AI of 15th of August 2023 are an example in this particular point. But ladies and gentlemen, I think I have a problem. I have a problem because last year, quietly in July 2023, OpenAI started a new project. It's called the Super Intelligence Alignment Project. They say give us 4 years. And in the next 4 years, we are going to come up with a super intelligence that will supersede the cumulative intelligence of humanity as a race. 2027. If that comes in, where are we? Are we in control? Not at all. Do we need to put up guardrails now? Absolutely yes. We ultimately want to make sure that AI does not start getting misused against humanity. That's why in this book on superintelligence and law, I've actually laid down a legal framework, a legal roadmap on what needs to be done now in the building process when you're actually coming up with superintelligence. But that's only one component of what cyber law has to do in 2024. The second component is got to do with cybercrime. Well, the world is going through a cybercrime revolution. Look at these figures. By the end of 2024, we will be losing close to $8 trillion to cybercrime. Come the end of 2025, and we would have lost more than $10.5 trillion to cybercrime as we go forward. No wonder it's not inaccurate to state that the golden age of cybercrime has already begun. And this golden age will be with us for the next many decades. We just need to be prepared for this as we go forward. There's a new TV serial on the OTT platforms in India, and it's called Jamtara. It's named after the famous cybercrime capital of the country, Jamtara, and it has a byline. The byline says, Sabka number aayega. For those who are not from India, it says, everybody's number will come. So it's only an inevitable warning to tell you, guys, if you have not yet become a victim of cybercrime, don't worry, have patience, you will become a victim of cybercrime. Therefore, once this is now started coming in as mainstream, clearly cyber law as a framework will have to go ahead and deal with the effective regulation of cybercrime as we go forward, more so in the context of the intersection between cybercrime and cybersecurity, which is pursued. But I'm more concerned now with cyber attacks. Why? Every 11 seconds, one company in India becomes a victim of a ransomware attack. And by the end of 2024, every 9 seconds, one company will become a victim of a ransomware attack. Nobody is talking about that. Does not mean that things are not happening. Things are happening here, left, right, and center. Therefore, ransomware will have to be regulated by cyber law as we go forward. I think these cyber attacks have got worrying numbers. And we need to come up with legal frameworks, legal principles on how we can legally regulate at the international level cyber attacks. So today, when there's a war between say, Russia and Ukraine, apart from the physical battlefield, there's a huge war that's going in cyberspace. And more importantly, we are seeing this war where drones, those small drones, have proved their power against a mighty tank. A small drone is able to go ahead and destroy a tank. If that's the position, I think the legal frameworks have to look at again of how these cyber attacks will have to be done as we go forward. The Hamas war has also shown us if you can actually trigger the attack on pages simultaneously and cause so much casualty, imagine what stops them from triggering an attack on your and my mobile phone. Just about nothing. I think the Lakshman Rekha, the golden line, has been breached. Earlier, every agency knew how to go ahead and detonate and explode a device. But everybody was in a restraint mode. Now, post these Lebanon attacks, that line is now breached. So state and non-state actors are not even going to think twice before going ahead and using this as a primary force for enforcing casualty as we go forward. Clearly, the silent killers have to be given a salute. The silent killers today are cyberbullying, cyber harassment, cyber stalking, and cyber defamation. This is all thanks to the kind of sadistic trait amongst all of us. Much that we do realize that we can be tracked. Sometimes, when we are emotional, we still go online, abuse somebody, bully somebody, defame somebody, under some mistaken notion and think that, look, I will be lucky and will never get caught. But I think when WhatsApp has become a national religion in countries like India, you have to start realizing that the boundaries are blurring. And if the boundaries are blurring, it's exposing you to massive kind of exposures in legal ramifications. I look at the development of cyber law. Is it technology asking me to stop, or is it just not working? Yes, it's asking me to stop. I look at the evolution of cyber law. We began with the municipal model law on electronic commerce. 1997, 30th of January, the General Assembly passes this and calls upon all member nations, please come up with national laws. So everybody starts coming up with national laws. But that's stage one. You've already given enough legal recognition to electronic commerce, electronic governance. What else? I think the time has come that cyber law needs to be coming on to the next level. Let's now give an example of what European Union has actually done. European Union has now come up with a Cyber Resilience Act. One of the first legislative bodies in the world, where they said, look, let's take it as a given, yes, that we will be attacked. The important issue is not that we are going to be attacked. The important issue is how quickly can I come back to a state of normalcy after getting attacked. That in a nutshell is what the thrust area is of the European Union Cyber Resilience Law. I'm of the firm opinion that these kind of frameworks are going to get replicated globally in different countries as we go forward. But I think one thing is quietly started happening. Countries without much noise have started saying, I'm coming up with my data breach notification laws. Which means, one breach happens, you come to know about it, you must report it within some time. US says 72 hours, India says 6 hours. In 6 hours, if you don't report what's come to your knowledge, no problem. You commit an offense after 6 hours. You have to go to jail. It's a different matter altogether whether you'll be prosecuted. If you get prosecuted, the lines for you to go into jail are crystal clear. That's now thanks to the IT Directions 2022. And I think this is now going to be repeatedly getting emboldened, strengthened globally as we go forward. But I think everybody globally is also concerned about protecting their crown jewels. This is what? This is your critical information investment. Every country is saying, hold on, let me get my crown jewels in place. For that, appropriate legal frameworks will have to be put up in place as we go forward as part of cyber law concerns. Globally, do I have anything on cyber security? Well, I have nothing on cyber security. There's no international treaty on cyber security. There's no international law on cyber security. There's nothing that's actually gone ahead and prevented people to say, let me not breach the cyber security of another stakeholder because I could be hauled up.